This episode is brought to you by Bellator's Publishing, bringing stories to the world that last forever. He says, I'll never be able to reclaim my family's lands. Which land is he talking about here? Is he the rightful ruler of Saeris Rock?
I start to think there is something related between them. When he was talking about his great-great-grandfather, I noticed something there, like a resentment against him. I start to think that maybe his great-great-grandfather, he was maybe an ally, or he had a friendship or something with Malcolm. Definitely you could come with a better excuse than moving the furniture.
I don't know, I think moving the furniture is quite a good one.
You think?
Fixing the bed?
Maybe that could be a game. What would be a better excuse to say it to somebody to pretend that you were having sex?
So we learn that the land on the other side of the river is blackened, charred wasteland.
This really caught my attention because, and the way that it's described, it just sounds there as being everything completely burned down. We know that at some point in this land there were dragons. So is this maybe the first clue that they still have a dragon?
Oh, that's good.
Hello and welcome to Faithfully Fantasy,
the husband and wife podcast talking all things Quicksilver.
I'm JC.
And I'm Sean.
And today we'll carry on with our deep dive of Quicksilver with chapters 20 to 22. And just heads up, we might use strong language and explore adult themes.
This episode will contain spoilers from Quicksilver, the Kingfisher POV chapters on Callie Hart's website, and snippets of information we've had from Callie Hart herself.
And before we start, quick reminder, if you want early access to our episodes, bonus content every month, and no annoying ads like this one, you can have all this by becoming a supporter. You can try it for free now and cancel anytime. For the best deal, visit faithfullyfantasy.com or simply subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for instant access. Don't miss out and become part of our community.
Also, if you're enjoying the show, please take a second to rate us wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of it. It helps more fantasy lovers find us, and it's one of the easiest ways to support the show. A quick tap and you've made our day.
And now, without further ado, let's enter the map 10. Well, actually, today we learned that it's called the map 10, the map room, and the war room.
Yes.
So, yeah. It's awkward, but let's enter the war room, the map room, and the map tent.
Whichever one you want. So this week, Fisher shows up to the Aenir war camp after a century away, and surprise, it's a booming town. Apparently, all you need for rapid urban development is a bit of supernatural warfare and a whole lot of time. It's almost gentrified. Well, there's a pub anyway. Fisher rolls in with Ren, Carrion, and Saeris. Ren's teaching swordplay like he's running a medieval boot camp, while Fisher dodges leadership like it's Danya at a party. Fisher and Saeris? Well, the tension is so thick you could slice it with a sword. Saeris admits she wants to stay and help. They finally kiss, but Fisher pulls away faster than someone hearing "we need to talk." We're taken inside the map tent, and Captain Danya, holding a 100-year-old grudge, tries to take a swing at Fisher. Saeris goes full alchemist, and boom, Danya's sword splinters, and everyone knows Saeris is an alchemist. Meanwhile, outside, the army is breaking the river ice to stop 50,000 vampires crossing the river. 50,000. And just when we think we're going to need more garlic, Fisher drowns a bunch of them with his magic. But Malcolm, the big vampire boss, is heckling from across the river. He is gross. Back in Carlish, Fisher explains Malcolm is a rational vampire, the kind who keeps his fangs clean and has others do his dirty work. We learn that Fisher is linked to Malcolm by mysterious magic and emotional baggage. Fisher and Saeris slip away for a stolen rendezvous, finally surrendering to the pull that's been simmering between them. Their passion ignites in secret, but for the Fae, secrets don't last long, especially when the air practically reeks of post-romantic entanglement. Turns out being discreet isn't much use when your allies have noses sharper than your own self-control.
Well, I think now we can say that we are in the part of the book when we get like all the juicy stuff and we start to see more about what's going on between Malcolm, Fisher. This is the first time that we see Malcolm enter into action.
Yeah, and today is a racy one. Probably the first racy one. I mean, there was a little bit of forge grinding.
But this time it's just like, we all details.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on to the fine print, the part of the show where we scour the pages for clues of what is to come. Chapter 20.
Amantraeth. So the chapter title, Amantraeth, it means Hell's Teeth in presumably Old Fae. Mm-hmm. We don't get confirmation of that, but we do get a translation. Obviously now, Hell's Teeth, this is the vampires, the teeth, it's obvious. But at the time, again, until the next chapter, Icebreaker, I had no idea.
Yeah, until the word vampire appears.
Yeah, until they literally said vampires, I had no idea. For someone who has a fantasy podcast all about foreshadowing in books, I on my first read remarkably bad at it. But anyway, so we learn that Amantraeth is the seat of the enemy. Mm-hmm. The palace of Sanasroth is the giant fortress, and it's Malcolm's home. So it's the seat of the king of the vampires.
Yes, the winter palace from the vampires, basically.
Yeah. We don't visit in this chapter, but we see it from far away. Mm-hmm. But I think it's safe to say that we will spend at least the start of Brimstone here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really cool to see it from the distance. We get some really good world building in this chapter. I think this is really where it opens up, because we've been to the Winter Palace, we've been to Zulfaran, the Silver City, we've been to the Winter Palace in Avelia, we've been to Karlish, and now we're going to the other side of the Omnimaran Mountains, where they have set up a war camp. But obviously we know that this war has been going on for years and years. Belicon has no intentions of it stopping. It's just a distraction, really. He's saving face, isn't he? It's kind of the mirage of the fact that he is he's got his own kingdom and he's not in bed with the enemy, basically.
Yeah.
So the world building that Callie decides to do in this chapter is really cool. It reminds me of Violet Sorrengail in Empyrean.
Yeah, and Fort Wayne, when she starts to recite everything that she knows about the war to calm down.
Exactly. We don't get somebody reading from a book like we have in the library in the previous chapters. We don't have Kingfisher grumbling about the fact that the other courts, she needs to just ask Ren and Evelyn. This one, Ren is explaining it mid-fight, so we get little snippets. And that, for me, is she's trying to distract us with the fight. And it's quite humorous, again, with Carrion hitting the deck and Saeris giving him shit for it. But you also get these, snippets of world building, and it talks about the geography of the land. So when I was reading this bit, obviously, I was flicking back and forward to the map. We see tents. The war camp is tents, but it's not really all tents. There's 2-story buildings, and they've even made a tavern. So obviously this has just been here for ages, and Fae warriors and the other Fae that are there have just built themselves a home.
I mean, we know for sure that at least it's been more than 110 years there since everything started with Kingfisher, but we don't know how long it's been this war against the vampires going on, because in the other Kingfisher's point of view, there's no mention, from the past about vampires, maybe from the dragons and all that kind of stuff. They were different kind of enemy.
I think so. We know it's definitely decades, and I think Evelyn earlier in the book says that they've been at war longer than she's been alive, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think at some point Fisher said they're always out in war. So either there's one thing or another one. So they always have something going on.
Yeah. And the feeders, so we definitely know the feeders come in the Kingfisher POV because they're attacking the Argent Gate. But that's weird because if you look at the map, that is much further north.
Mm-hmm.
So Bellicon obviously let them round Avelia at that point.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we learn that the land on the other side of the river is blackened, charred wasteland.
Yeah.
Why is it charred?
This really caught my attention because, and the way that it's described, it just sounds there as being everything completely burned down. And we know that at some point in this land there were dragons. So is this maybe like the first clue that they still have a dragon?
Oh, that's good. So, well, I think from the name Brimstone and the hints that we get in the Kingfisher POV chapter, The Gate, and The Gate Part 2,
Yes.
we know that Brimstone is linked to dragons.
Yeah.
We know that it's an old-fashioned word for sulfur. We also know that Saeris has a rune that represents not only Quicksilver, but also Brimstone, also salt. But that suggests that she's going to be able to control the brimstone, or she's going to be able to manipulate it or use it somehow. Does that mean she's going to be able to control and manipulate the dragons? Because there's 100% dragons, right? We don't believe. We don't believe that Omnam Chakrai was
the last dragon.
The last one. No.
I start to think that maybe even the title is maybe the brimstone is the first clue that we will see more dragons. And now the Saeris, she's basically the queen of this land. She might be able to see all the secrets or all the stuff there's in this land.
Possibly they're there. Possibly that's where they've been hiding. You'd think that someone at the war camp would have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that from the map, there's dragons depicted in the Argent Gate where they were before, where Omnam Chakrai attacked.
Yeah. Maybe we're going to see something like, in Game of Thrones. I don't know like perfectly the whole story, but I know that in some point there was a dragon that was maybe put down by the enemy, and then this dragon came back kind of like a zombie or something like this.
Zombie dragon.
Yes.
But his
so
skull.
I don't know if maybe it would be like the feathers. But
Omnam Chakrai's skull is in the throne room at the Winter
that one
Palace.
is dead. That for sure. But it was the last dragon? Or maybe the last dragon and
I think it's like odds on that it wasn't the last dragon. And I do think, I agree with you. Yeah. I think the Brimstone title is the dragon hint. Yeah. It's cool, though, that you think that the reason it was charred and blackened was the dragon.
Yeah.
Could the dragons have been fighting against the feeders at that point and tried to burn them?
Yes.
Maybe. So the Shadow Gate appears at Irin, and as soon as they pass through, Bill, the horse, is the last one to pass through. And as soon as its hindquarters get through, the gate vanishes. This isn't as long as they get at the end, like 30 seconds they get at the end when Kingfisher makes his shadow gate and throws Evelyn through from the maze, and the others climb up. But it is a hint that it will be a challenge for them to get through the gate at the end to go and find Fisher. Yeah. So I quite liked this as a bit of a hint towards the end. I thought it was quite clever foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we talk about the palace that we think we're going to spend a lot of time in Brimstone?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was made of?
I think it was demon bones or something like this.
Yeah. I wonder where those demons came from, how they died, and whether we will meet these demons over in Sanasroth when we get there. And the thought of that is like slightly creepy. Love it.
Yeah, I wonder, like, when Kingfisher said there were demons, what exactly it means, like, demons? Because we know that by the end of this book, we will be in one of the hells. We will see people that we thought they were dead, and then they appear there. Maybe it's classified as a demon because
No, they
now
were
living.
just trapped.
Yeah,
People were
so
just trapped.
has to be like something physical, kind of like a monster, so something like this.
Yeah. Creepy. Also, so you know when I've mentioned this so many times, but Callie Hart said when I asked her what to look out for in Quicksilver that would be foreshadowing for Brimstone, she specifically talked about the different factions of people that we would get to meet. And I think one of those is the witches, which we'll cover when we get to that part. But there was just a really offhand mention of pirates that use the River Dawn.
Yeah.
I think we could meet some pirates in the next book.
Hmm.
I mean, we've had witches, dragons, vampires, fae, immortal queens. What's a pirate thrown in? Like,
yeah, what kind of pirate? It's gonna be as well like a mix of every single creature that we had there, or maybe it's gonna be like Fae, but pirate version.
pirate fae.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love a pirate book.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a mention, but this is what Ren was saying. Pirates use the dawn.
Yeah,
So I'd love to meet some fae pirates
yeah.
in the next book.
It's kind of remind me a little bit of the Land of Neverland with Peter Pan, where we had like, all these magic creatures, and obviously we have pirates as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool, isn't it?
yeah,
It makes it feel a bit more like, I wouldn't say whimsical, but it's not going to be whimsical. But nothing about Brimstone is going to be whimsical. Everything I've seen, all the snippets of information, it's very dark and very like creepy, I think.
yeah.
I thought we got another hint of Elroy possibly being Kingfisher's father, or possibly not the father, but definitely an alchemist of some sort.
Yeah.
So when Saeris is fighting with Ren,
Mm-hmm.
he gives her the sword. And she says she made enough swords in secret while apprenticing in Elroy's workshop, which is like just another hint that Elroy was an alchemist, that he knew the forge. He knew what she could do with metal, but he was just hiding his abilities. It makes sense that he would be an alchemist if he was a fae, regardless of whether he's Fisher's dad or not, because he was one of the ones that crossed through the portal, the Quicksilver portal.
Yeah.
But it's just quite an obvious link back, isn't it, to swords?
Yeah, I can wait to this moment when we finally put a face to Kingfisher's dad. And I don't know, I still think that there's going to be Elroy, or Elroy is going to have like a really important role in all of this.
Yeah, I think
I'm convinced he's Faye.
Yeah, regardless of whether he's Fisher's dad or not, which I do strongly suspect he is. The moment I think that Kingfisher will recognize him, and I think there'll be a big moment where Elroy makes it through. And I wonder if actually it's Elroy that comes through himself. Possibly there's something to do. He hasn't got any Quicksilver, but he's trying to find it. That's why he's going up to the palace, because he thinks it's most likely that there's Quicksilver. Well, that's the Quicksilver pool, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So he's going up to the palace to say, let me see Saeris, let me see Saeris. He wants to get in so that he can open the Quicksilver, because he suspects, he felt it. Like all the alchemists will have felt it when it opened, but he's got no access to a pool. So I think he's going up there because he can try and get into the pool, and he will make it at some point, and he will come through himself. So I think that Elroy will all of a sudden turn up in...
Will be in the Winter Palace, isn't it?
You don't think Elroy is Onyx, do you?
Onyx?
Onyx came after.
I don't know, because then how he managed to travel and then go into a fox.
He would have had to, maybe he could always turn into a fox, and he could sneak through into the palace.
Yeah. Definitely Onyx had those black tips ears is because it's a fae.
Yeah. And it knows its way around a forge. It doesn't want to leave the forge. And then it was found in the forge.
Yeah.
It seems to be suspicious.
That he went through and then maybe he went through different pole, maybe one with witches or something, and then turned into a fox. Or...
No, maybe he could always turn into a fox. You know that shape-shifting fae is definitely a thing in this.
Yeah, but wouldn't be just like turning back himself to a fae or human or something that's not a fox.
Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. Something. I still think it's linked to his mom. Because then again, like Ballard, we're going to read the chapter Ballard next week, and I'm going to go to town on this Onyx behavior. Right. Anyway, next. Fisher really doesn't want to see his captains. He really does not want to see his Lupo Proelia, which is his wolf gang.
Mm-hmm.
Is he ashamed that he's been away for such a long time? Is this the root cause? Like, he really doesn't want... He comes and he criticizes Saeris for her fighting style. He later praises that. But Ren is like, you have no choice. You have to come to this meeting.
Yeah.
And he really does not want to go to the meeting. And we've all been there. We really don't want to go to a meeting, but you just have to go.
So I wonder what happened before, because this is not the first time that Kingfisher goes there, isn't it? So he went there maybe a couple of weeks ago with Ren.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that he was just walking around and hiding, and now he has to be present. But I think maybe the main reason is because he knows people. The first question is, what happened to you? Because we are fighting, and the moment that we need you the most, you disappeared. 110 years. What happened to you? And he won't be able to say anything. So he's just...
I suspect that is a good like theory. I suspect that he doesn't want to be seen because he knows there'll be a big celebration which will be visible from the other bank of Sanazroth, and that would draw Malcolm's attention, and Malcolm would know that he was there and he would want him back.
I think that was exactly what happened, because once he goes to here is when the attack happens.
Yeah, they see the shadows, they know it's Fisher, and Malcolm comes out.
Yeah.
So I think he's keeping a low profile to keep the rest of this.
Maybe Malcolm is still looking for him everywhere.
And he's trying to keep the rest of Irin safe by not being so visible. So I don't know where that could be linked to the reluctance to see the Lupo Proelia. Or maybe he just like can't be arsed with Danya because she's such a bitch. Ugh, she's the worst. So he takes Saeris. He wants Ren to take Carrion, and he takes Saeris to his own tent, and he says, "Go in, please." And he says, "Please," and he winces. So clearly manners at this point are really painful for him.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think this is something to do with the rune? Is the rune at work, or what is going on?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, because when he goes in, the impression that Saeris have is that he is maybe like with headache, because he is just like a rub at the temples, or he looks that in that moment he is maybe on pain. So maybe it could be this, that he's struggling with the rune. Maybe the rune doesn't want to go, or he doesn't want to get rid of the rune, but at the same time he's doing something else, being polite. But,
or maybe he actually has a headache.
Yeah, but not sure if it's because maybe there's a fight with the rune, or it's the Quicksilver that sometimes gets crazy, and then he's just trying to calm down all the voices that it's constantly in his head.
Oh, that will be it. So the voices will be talking a lot.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
He's like rubbing his temple to be like, shut up, shut up.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's loads of books around, and she's like, are these important? Why have you got so many books? And he says, they're important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me think they might be more of Mummy Fisher's diaries, journals, sketchbooks.
Yes, everything related to her or what she normally used to do.
Yeah.
Predictions.
Or it could be something about the maybe he's reading the fables of the gods bonded people.
Mm-hmm.
And like seeing how tragic the ending are. And that's maybe reminding him to be mean.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want her to die. So the fact he's making her eat at this point, because he drags her to the tent, there's soup. The fact he's eating with her comes back to the Kingfisher POV chapter, where he is determined to make her eat. He's happy for her to eat. He wants her to eat, unless she is sharing a plate with Carrion.
That's different business, yes.
Yeah, and he says she won't go hungry again, because he's like hating thinking of her struggling to eat and not having any water.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bit of a theme in this bit and the next one around Kingfisher's runes, tattoos moving.
Yes.
She first notices it on his hands in this chapter, and they move later when he's like fully naked. And they move around his torso, and this makes me think of Maui from Moana. And you know all these hints that he's a god?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's actually a demigod.
I genuinely don't know how to take this one, because it's always when he's getting close to Saeris. So I don't know if the tattoo reacting to her because somehow, well, he knows.
Because of the bond.
As the partner. Or it's something else about him when maybe he is trying to control the mood or whatever. They start to shift. Like every rune has a meaning or a purpose, and then according to the mood that he wants to have, they start to change.
Yeah.
Something, curious.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think he's a demigod.
I definitely think if he's right now not already a demigod, he will be by the end of this series.
Or a full-blown god. Yeah,
gonna be maybe
Zorith's retiring.
Yeah.
He is chaotic. He'll be the god of chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a bit of a conversation here between Kingfisher and Saeris about why he needs her to do these things. Just before she does this heartfelt thing, being like, has it ever occurred to you that I want to help you? For some reason, I know I can help you and I will stay. He says, I'll never be able to reclaim my family's lands. Basically, if he lets her go, he'll never be able to reclaim his family's land. Which land is he talking about here? Because he already has the land of around Corlish, which is what we believe is his family's lands. He's not the rightful ruler of Evalia because Carrion is. So Carrion will ultimately replace Bellicon, if anyone was to find out. So were his family, is he the rightful ruler of Sanesroth?
I start to think there's something related between them. And if you remember previous episode when I was saying that when he was talking about his great-great-grandfather, I noticed like something there, like a resentment against him. And I started to think that maybe his great-great-grandfather, he was maybe an ally or he had like a friendship or something with Malcolm when they were in the same time when this curse happened. And the land where Malcolm is really close to Kalish, to where Kingfisher had the land.
Just across the river.
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe his great-grandfather, that land belongs to him before, and now he just gives to Malcolm.
And maybe it was his dad's mission to get it back.
Yes.
But actually, Kingfisher's going to be the one that does it. Or he's just going to end up like God's bonded to the queen of Sanesroth anyway, and it's all fine. Everything works out well in the end. It seems unlikely because a river is normally a natural boundary. But there's no reason. It does seem like quite a narrow river. They say it's a lot wider in other places, but it's really narrow. It's narrow enough. I know that Faye can cast their voices, but it's narrow enough to get a good look at Malcolm and to hear what he's saying. So, yeah, I feel like that is a real option. I am obsessed with working out if Kingfisher is lying about things. You know how Lorith in the next couple of chapters says that Kingfisher can't lie?
Yeah.
Well, now we know that because we're on the reread. And he says a few things like, she says, "You're incorrigible."
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I don't even know what that means." And she says, "Yes, you fucking do." And he's like, "All right, I do. What's your point?"
So it's lying.
One of those times he's lying. "I don't know what that means." "All right, I do know what it means." The first time, are you just allowed to do little jokey fibs like that? You must be able to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this reminds me again that moment with Satan and Violet. When Satan said that he never lies to her, and then we found out that he actually did. So,
but it's okay.
There's something about this man with, red flags.
I know. Well, Kingfisher is a walking red flag until the next set of chapters.
Yeah.
When he cracks. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful breaking of Kingfisher. He loses control.
Mm-hmm.
She says she wants to help him, and that just all of a sudden makes him lose control.
Yeah.
I just love this part. It's just like the way that she writes these intense, intimate, like Kingfisher just reacting and quickly kissing her. And so it just is so, it's not romantic, but it is romantic. Because you can't call these chapters romance. He's not sweeping her off his feet. He just can't control himself. And there's just something about her writing that's just really, really good in these types of scenes. And better, I think the best type of the best romance in this sensible word writing that I've read. I think she's the best. Kelly Hart is the best. Because there's the like heartbeat, he breaks her skin. Obviously, like I can't massively get behind the blood in these moments. Like the fact that it just is not a turn on having blood in your mouth. Like I don't know, it'd be like really metallic or anything. But anyway, the way she writes it, he bites her neck or he scratches her neck by accident, and he has to stop. He's like, that's it. He knows that he's gonna lose control.
Yeah.
So he goes to the other side of the room. And then he has to leave, but he doesn't, so he can't say anything, but he doesn't leave without kissing her again, putting her hand on his chest, and the heartbeat is like racing. And she mentions that it's so different to the heartbeat that she had, the heartbeat that she felt in the chair. So this is a complete like moment of no control from Kingfisher.
Yeah.
I just loved that whole bit. It's really good.
Yes, it's in this moment where you start to see the Kingfisher just losing all the coal that he got.
He's breaking.
Yeah.
A little bit. But he's still pretending he's not breaking. And then she said, so he walks out, and she says she did what any sane woman would do in that moment. She bolted, and she just runs around like a headless chicken. She doesn't know where she's going, so she just runs around until she finds Ren.
Yeah.
And enters the map tent. Carrion's eating quiche.
Yeah.
She notes the suggestive way that Carrion grinned at her. And I think that's just a big hint that he can smell what's just happened because he's Fae. I love reading this, like knowing that he's Fae and thinking about all the times that he like raises his eyebrows, or he knows what she's feeling. He knows what she's thinking.
Yeah.
But nobody else knows that he's Fae.
Yeah.
I mean, Fisher would treat him so differently if he knew who he was.
I really like this kind of books when you read it once and you have no idea, like a lot of stuff, and then when by the end you start to find out like a big secret like this, and then you start to read it. It's
a different book.
Yes, you start to see like all the clues are right there.
I love the second read. I know when I love a book so much, I immediately start it again. The last one I did that with was Shield of Sparrows. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I had that same feeling. The second time I read it, different book.
Yeah.
It's really good.
When we scored as a level 5 in our
level and vibes rating system.
Yes.
Yeah. This is just one of those times though, because if you think about it, Carrion is treating him like shit. He doesn't care if he dies. He wouldn't have even brought him had he not thought that should happen. Had he not thought that he was Saeris' brother.
Yeah.
But he would do everything to keep him alive and use him out to defeat Malcolm if he knew who he was. It's just an accident that happens. Although Carrion knows who he is. Carrion knows about the blood curse. Danya wants to punch Kingfisher, and Saeris says, "Stop it!" And then, sword explodes, fractures into hundreds of pieces, wedges itself into the ceiling, and Danya says, "We have a fucking alchemist," and Fisher says, "She's mine." Protective.
Yes. Something that was really curious as well is because we know that every single sword that these Fey Warriors had, they are like really important, they are really special for them. But when this happens, Danya is not that obviously so focused on my sword got destroyed. It was like, fuck, we had an alchemist and that can change everything. So really, alchemists at this point, they are so rare that was more impactful for her. That now she had no sword.
Yeah, but she's raging about the sword. Like,
later
don't get her
on.
wrong. She's a proper bitch. Let's talk about Danya.
Yeah.
What is her deal? So, did she once have feelings for Fisher? And she can smell what just happened in the tent, and that's why she flies into a rage. I hate to reduce Fey warrior, like a badass character, down to having feelings about a man. Like, she could just be angry that he's been gone for so long.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's more than that. I feel like it could be her prejudice towards humans, and she can't believe he's brought two humans here because she thinks that Carrion's a human. Why is she so prejudiced against humans? Because Fisher says they fought valiantly, and a lot of them, like most of them, became feeders.
Yeah.
So you'd think that would mean something to her. You'd think that she would feel some kind of like gratitude to them for fighting, but then obviously they failed, and then she would. Why does she hate humans so much? Something to do with Madra? Like, why? What is her deal? She's such an asshole.
Yes. Maybe she's thinking that, well, these two, they're not going to last here and they're going to turn eventually into feeders. So it's more like, I don't know.
Another two for the army.
Yes. They will be more useful for them, for the Fae. And there's something that, I don't know if she has something for Fisher. So then when he came back to the tent, this point he was all soaking wet. So after he left Saeris, it seemed that he went straight away to have
scrub it all off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was just having a quick shower so nobody can smell everything on him. Or was because he was so turned on that he was just like, I need to cool down.
I think that's that. I think it's that one. That is really funny because that is the type of joke that Callie Hart would make. She is so funny.
Yeah, maybe we need a Fisher point of view on this.
Yeah, we need to get a Kingfisher POV.
Can't go to the map then with this massive erection.
That's so funny. The other thing I was thinking about Danya was that I got the feeling that Callie Hart really hates her, which makes me wonder if she will ever redeem herself. Because you know how Rebecca Yarros loves Catriona as a character? Well, Callie Hart, when someone asked her what drink Danya would drink in a bar, she pulled like the biggest scowl. She was like, ugh. Like when somebody asked me about Danya, ugh.
Yeah.
And then she went, probably like battery acid or something. She does not like Danya at this moment. And maybe it's because she is in Quicksilver mode and she's like definitely training herself to be like that. But I just don't think Danya will redeem herself. I think she's probably not making it through the series.
Yeah. That's so funny because as an author, you're not supposed to have like feelings for your characters because
Who says?
No, because when you are written something that's going to happen to like your main character, you have to love it and you have to hate it, because that is when you create this journey. They're given like a lot of problems and at the same time you give it solutions. So you need to be kind of like impartial. You have to be the worst enemy and then also the biggest fan when you are like building this character. But we are readers. And obviously, after everything is done, and then we know the stories and everything, I would say there's just nearly impossible. No, still
Not to
impartial
feel someone,
with your characters. Yeah,
of course. I think even more so. I think you care more about your own characters than you do about other people's, because you've like created them.
Mm-hmm. The problem is because if you, as an author, you start to maybe love too much a character.
Them.
The character turns boring when you start to be like too good for everything. It's just there's nothing interesting in this character anymore.
I can think of somebody in the Empyrean series, but I'm not gonna spoil it.
Well, I think one example that we can give, and it's not that much a spoiler for the people who are listening right now, is the character from Hannibal Lecter. The people who read the books, they can tell like from the beginning to by the end of the books how the author was very much like in love with Hannibal. And then by the end, Hannibal was just like an expert in wines. He was just like this amazing person there. And the way they start to build up, it doesn't make sense that he is this crazy like serial killer.
So I think there's two things. I think there's like an author making the character so good, but also there's a chance that they can't let go to the character. They can't let go of the character, and the character needs an arc in which they die. Like they need to die because that's the story. But you can't let go, and also you need to end the books. Like I have a real unpopular opinion around the ACOTAR books in that they just don't end, and it's become, I mean, everybody's so desperate for the next one, and I loved them, I really enjoyed them, but I feel like it's turning a bit into a soap opera where you just follow the next character and you follow the next character. But that's an unpopular opinion, so don't hate me, don't come at me, or do, that's just my opinion. Okay, so we don't like Danya. Something's up with Danya. But every time I hear Danya, we need a name.
Memoirs of Luzbel. She loved him. She lost him. And he came back. But wasn't completely him. She feared him. She fought him. But she fell for him. Memoirs of Luzbel. Now available on Amazon.
Okay, chapter 21, Icebreaker.
So, Icebreaker. I love this one. This title is a classic example of where Callie Hart is using double meanings, because you've obviously got the literal ice breaking. So the Fae warriors at the camp are literally breaking the ice to stop the feeders from crossing the Darn. But there's just been the most intense scene in the map tent. And an icebreaker is also known as, it's what you call something that's going to cut any tension in the air.
Yeah.
Like normally you do an icebreaker at a corporate event when you go for a meeting and people are like a bit nervous or whatever, and you do an icebreaker. You break the ice and then everybody is like normal and friendly. I have a funny story about an icebreaker at work. We had to like mingle around a room and there was various questions that you had to ask people.
Yeah.
And one of the questions, I don't know if this was an official question, but somebody asked me, who my celebrity crush was. And I honestly could not think of anyone. And then I was like, does the person have to be real? Because I could only think of fictional shadow wielding main male characters. And I was like, I honestly do not have a celebrity crush. It broke the ice because they all thought I was an absolute weirdo. Now, at least 2 of those people are also reading these books now, so it definitely broke the ice. But I genuinely couldn't think of a celebrity main character. I was like, does Kingfisher count? Does Zayden Rice count? How about Rysand? Like, what? Where celebrity crushes?
How everything had changed, because I remember when I met you, your crush was Enrique Iglesias.
Oh,
not anymore.
No, I'll always love him.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's just because he's not a shadow wielder. That's the problem.
Yeah, he doesn't have a dragon.
He doesn't look a red flag neither.
Or he hasn't killed a dragon in the past. He's not got any red flags.
Yeah,
that is funny though. I just remembered that. Oh, he was a babe.
Oh, was.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
I saw him a couple of years ago. Then time.
Where did you see him? Just bump into him in the street.
Yeah. No, Spanish people, we know.
Spanish people know Spanish. Yeah. That's like when I went to Disneyland and someone asked me if I knew Kate Middleton. I was like, it's a small island, but it's not that small.
Go to the same church every single Sunday.
Did you get an invite to the wedding? No. It's funny. Okay, so double meaning, icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
This is the first mention of the vampires.
Yes. That was when finally turned into a vampire fae. What else? That magic.
Yeah.
Story, yeah.
Yeah, everything. It's finally realized it was a vampire story. This was my first vampire book since Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Which is years ago.
For me, literally the first book
Did you
about
never read
vampires.
Twilight?
I saw the movies. I saw all of them except the last one. So I don't know how it finished. It's still in my list.
Oh, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Yeah, it's only 3 books. So if you read the book, you read the book. It's good. It's a good ending, although I can't really do a spoiler without spoiling it. I think you should read it.
Read it.
Yeah, my friend Lisa is reading it again, and she did say it's just not as nostalgic as it was the first time. Mm-hmm. Now that we've read a lot of good romantasy, it kind of goes backwards a bit, is what she's saying. But maybe we should read that.
I really enjoy movies about vampires, and later on I found out they were actually from books. So I remember that one of my favorites was Interview with the Vampire.
Is that with Keanu Reeves?
No, it's with Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Which is the one with Keanu Reeves, the vampire one?
Keanu Reeves as a vampire.
Is he not a vampire? I am so bad with movies. I'd rather read a book.
Maybe you're thinking about Constantine, but that was against the devil.
Angel. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so bad with movies. Anyway, back to Quicksilver. We find out Holgoth, the sprite that met them when they arrived, who has tree bark and branches and leaves coming off him. We find out that he's an earth sprite, and I know this is minor and it probably was obvious to most people, but we've now seen fire sprites because of Archer at Collish. We've also heard of water sprites because they gave Carrion a big scrub down to wash off any pheromones from Saeris. We now have an earth sprite, so I think it's safe to assume that there are also air sprites, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if we will meet some air sprites in Brimstone. I can't remember if we actually meet some already at Ballard. Well, we'll see in the next few chapters, but I think it's safe to assume that we will see them at some point in the rest of the series because they kind of complete the set. I wonder if they will play a role in the the dragon storyline, because obviously they're in the air.
Yeah.
I know I'm reaching a bit here, but
It would be nice to see an air sprite, maybe in the summer palace, on the autumn palace,
Yeah.
on this.
yeah, I'm a bit confused about these palaces because they don't exist on the map. The Winter Palace definitely does. The others don't.
But definitely there wasn't mentioned there was another palace.
There's
Maybe
definitely
they're in
an
the
autumn.
islands.
Yeah, there's definitely an autumn palace.
Mm-hmm.
So they head down to the river and the feeders are trying to get across. Saeris grabs a hammer. Carrion grabs the hammer. And then the blue orb illuminated the scene and then smashed into the ice, making a hole. Was this Ren's power? I think this is Ren's power, isn't it? The blue orb of light.
Could be. I remember in the point of view of Kingfisher, he was doing something similar, so it has to be him.
Yeah, and this makes me think, like, what are all the powers? So we only know Kingfisher's a shadow wielder, and he can also do illusions because he made an illusion of a bathtub in his POV. So he can make illusions into real things. Wonder what else he can make illusions.
What about the other one? Because we saw just basically shadows in the light from Ren, and there's nobody else having like superpowers here.
Well, you'd think that the Leap of Aurelia did. We know that Danya's father was a Fey warrior, so I would presume she has some powers.
Yeah.
Unless the magic decided that she wasn't worthy of them. I'd love that. Maybe that's why she's so pissed off all the time.
Maybe it's not always something that they can throw. Maybe it's something they have to do physically. When maybe they come in, they do something with the sword and then it just, the code is double or triple or whatever.
We know that there's oracles as well, so it's another power, seeing the future. And it seems like you get your power from your mum and your dad, because Kingfisher inherited powers from both his mum and dad. Ren can also make doors that travel greater distances, can't he? So he can do that.
Yes.
I would say out of everyone, Loreth is probably the least likely to have powers.
Because he's not supposed to be a warrior. He just built himself for that.
Yeah, but I don't know if warrior is the prerequisite. We'll have to find out a bit more about that, I think.
Yeah, it's like a proper race, isn't it? So it's not something that you just get as a training. It's just you are or you're not.
Yeah, you're born with it. Yeah, whether you can control it, I guess, is something. I don't know whether Everlane has powers. We don't really find out about that, do we?
No, but is it Belicon a Fey warrior?
But it might not be. We don't have confirmation that it's only Fey warriors that have powers, because Fisher's mum wasn't a Fey warrior, was she? She was an oracle.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we will learn, to be confirmed. And this is where we see the full power of Kingfisher.
Yeah.
His shadows, a blanket of black smoke, another, not quite a mushroom cloud of Shadow Daddy Doom, but a blanket of Shadow Daddy Doom rolled across the river and wiped out all the feeders, drowning them. We learn later you can't drown something that's already dead, but
so they're still on the bottom of the river.
Yeah, are they on the bottom of the river? Where are they? Did they just turn around and go back?
Yeah, probably they're just like in Minecraft, the drowners, and they just stay there, floating around.
Yeah, I like that. Not Malcolm, standing on the riverbank, calling Fisher darling and saying he only saw him a couple of weeks ago. How embarrassing for Kingfisher.
Yes, and what is strange for me is that so far Kingfisher Lute is a kind of guy that he is not afraid of anything. He doesn't appear here when Malcolm is talking to him, and he's even saying, yeah, carry on hiding behind your friends. They will see you at some point. Why he didn't show there? It's just maybe don't want the confrontation at the moment.
I suspect that this is the reason why he takes Saeris back to Karlish as well and doesn't let her stay the night there. I suspect that is because he will know that Belicon will have spoken to Malcolm by now. Malcolm will know that Kingfisher is with an alchemist. And Malcolm wants the alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that from later on. So I think Kingfisher doesn't want Malcolm to see him because he'll know that the alchemist is there and he will be able to sniff out a human and he'll find Saeris. So I think all of this is to protect Saeris.
Yeah, maybe it's because he maybe knows that Malcolm will be able to smell Saeris on him even when he had his cold shower. So maybe he doesn't want to risk that Malcolm will gonna be able to smell Saeris on him.
Yeah, well, I think it's all to do with Saeris, definitely.
Yeah.
I think he's hiding to keep her safe, and I think that's why he takes her back to Cullish.
Yeah. Okay. Chapter 22.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a quick chapter, that one, icebreaker one, isn't it? It's like 2.5 pages.
Yeah, so much stuff happened in that one, but it finished really quick as well.
Yeah. Because like the world building is huge.
Yes.
The fact that we get the other side of the...
And we see Malcolm very first time.
Introduced to he is gross, isn't he? And the fact that he calls Kingfisher darling.
Then I miss you and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you get really
creepy.
bad vibes from him. Like rapey vibes.
Yeah.
So, chapter 22, The Itch.
Yeah. What do you think about the title?
So Fisher says that basically a one-night stand with Saeris will be nothing more than scratching an itch, and then he'll go back to his normal day-to-day and he won't think anything of her. Obviously, that is a lie. Another one.
Yeah.
And he lies a lot for somebody who can't lie. I can't think of a double meaning for this, but I do like the name of the chapter because it's like they're scratching the itch.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's exactly that. Not all the chapters are going to have a double meaning. It's just explain a little bit what is this chapter about.
A lot of them do, though. I think she's so clever. I've not heard anyone talk about it either, and I wonder if it's just one that she like hopes people will notice, but because it's not an epigraph in the same way that the Empyrean is epigraph, so and you don't dissect them, or people don't tend to dissect them. I'm really enjoying it. I'm seeing double meanings, and I'm like, yeah, it just reminds me of like Taylor Swift lyrics and a bit of Shakespeare, just trying to find double meanings in things. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So before we get to the racy bit, there's a few things that we should talk about. Kingfisher, this bit's quite funny. Kingfisher is obviously distracted. Like all he can think about is Saeris. He's obviously tasted her blood at that point as well, and like couldn't control himself. And he doesn't know what he wants to talk about. He says something, and she doesn't want to talk about that. And then he says something, and then she says something, and he doesn't want to talk about it. It's really awkward. But we learn that Kingfisher is really against Saeris sharing food with Carrion.
Yeah.
I have this funny exchange where he's like, you were eating cake off his plate. And she says, it's not cake. It wasn't cake. Like, that's important. And he says, I don't care what it is. Do not share food with Carrion. And then Saeris wonders if it's some kind of Fae custom. And for those that have read Sarah J. Maas's books, there is something about sharing food in those series. So I wonder if Callie Hart did this to kind of just show that he's jealous and stop everybody thinking there was something about the fact that Kingfisher really wanted to make sure that Saeris ate. So I wonder if she was like making the disconnect between the food. I think that's what she was doing.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I was because he doesn't want that she is not getting enough food. So it has to be like, no, you don't share your food with anybody else. It has to be yours. Or if I was because maybe he ate something, the saliva wasn't the food, she was eating it, and then obviously he going to smell Carrion on her breath. Yeah,
that could be it. But I also just think he's jealous. He just doesn't want them sharing food.
Yeah, or maybe it's something that for him is something like really intimate. There's something like just for couples to do.
Yeah, exactly. No, because he said that she could eat all the food, she will share all the food you want with Ren and Laura, just not Carrion. So it's definitely Carrion. I find that whole part really funny because then she says something about Carrion and he said, I don't want to talk about Carrion. but he brought him up in the first place. It's funny.
Yeah.
The whole thing is really awkward. Saeris starts to like have a bit of an anxiety attack here. She's worried. She's worried about Kingfisher.
Mm-hmm.
She's worried about the way that the map tent conversation ended, the fact that Danya's sword exploded, and she's worried about what Malcolm said and how Kingfisher's friends or captains would take that. The fact that he only saw him a few weeks ago, the fact that he called him darling. She's really worried about Kingfisher's reception back at the camp. And Kingfisher says, why don't you worry less about my captains and more about... And then she cuts him off. And I wonder what he wants her to worry about.
Could be just like worry about making the relics or worry about controlling your powers or something. But I hope that we're going to have like another POV and then we're going to find out what he meant.
Yeah.
Or at some point, another chapter in the future that he will think about. I need to tell her that she need to worry about this.
He might have been about to say, why don't you worry less about my captains and more about my body or something like that.
About this
or
weapon.
my tongue. So, yeah, worrying more about... Maybe it was just like something racy like that. I don't know. But she cuts him off. But in this whole exchange, not quite ready for the raciness yet. But we learn that Malcolm is a high fae vampire. The very first, cursed thousands of years ago, and the fae turned to vampires. When a cure was found, Kingfisher's great-grandfather and most others took it. They didn't want to be monsters, so they hated what they had become. But others, like Malcolm, didn't take it. They wanted immortality in the truest sense of the word. How is Malcolm different to Saeris at the end? Because we know that Saeris is one of a kind. Saeris is half fae, half vampire. Is Malcolm's described as a high fae vampire? Is he full vampire?
I'm guessing it's talking about he still had the curse, maybe the original curse that turned into a vampire. And that's what it makes the difference, because it seems that Saeris is more like a part of the evolution. So it's something they start to develop with thousand years, how to turn one to...
But nobody else has.
Well,
because Zorith at the end says you are something that's never been seen before. And then it turns out she's half fae, half vampire. But she shouldn't be fae.
She is a human that turned into a half fae, half vampire. So it's a complete mix. Maybe that's what
maybe
talking
that's
about.
it. Yeah.
Because obviously he took her out of the destiny that it was for her, turned into a human. And now it's back to what it's supposed to be, a fae, but also a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's it. I do think that he is full vampire. He just used to be fae. So maybe that's also part of it. This is where we learn that most humans became feeders. Malcolm's princes drained them dry and they came back with no souls. So it seems like one of Malcolm's princes, Taladeus, could convert somebody into a vampire by not taking too much blood, injecting them with their, I don't know, vampire venom, turning them into a vampire. But the temptation, and this feels very Twilighty, the temptation to continue is something that a vampire would have to consciously do to try not to turn them into a feeder. But if they do go too far and they drain them dry, they become feeders.
Yeah.
So soulless zombies.
Yeah. It's something that's in a lot of vampire stories, because in the interview with the vampire as well, the only way to turn a human into a vampire is draining to the point that's about to die. And then the human has to drink the blood of the vampire. And when this happens is when it turns into a vampire. But yeah, you have to go to that reach that's about to die. And then is when the transformation starts.
And it's like a really fine line that you could, you could kill someone.
If you're not careful, then you just keep drinking until
Yeah. So Fisher can't speak of this time in the maze. So we learn that he is under some kind... We don't learn, it's not on the page, but it's obvious. There's some kind of blood oath bond thing where he can't speak of what's been done to him.
So basically she figured out that that's exactly what happened to him because it's how she feels.
Yeah. And then he tries, again, he lies. He tries to push her away a little bit again by saying, have you considered that I just don't want to tell you because I don't like you? That kind of attitude. But she sees right through it. And he's trying to push her away because he's coming to pieces at this point. This is like the real unraveling of hard man, Kingfisher. I'm so interested to see Brimstone.
Yeah.
And Kingfisher's new character, because he's becoming himself. He's totally in love with Saeris.
Mm-hmm.
I think Callie Hart is going to have to get rid of him for a while, because otherwise their relationship is just done, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think she's going to have to like get him off the scene for a while, and that could be why we get the dual POV. It was like 60-40, I think she said, Saeris Kingfisher. So otherwise, like, he's just an amazing partner. Mm-hmm. He's got to still have these flaws. So I'm excited to see, because he's still the tough man to everybody else.
Yeah.
But he's become really soft not soft, that's a bad word. Green flag.
No filters or...
He's a green flag.
Himself
for
clearly
Saeris.
now, yeah.
Yeah. And it's all after the ballad chapter.
Yes, but by the end of this book, there's something weird with Fisher after Saeris turning into a vampire. That even she is wondering why Fisher is not here, why it's just Taladeas. And then Fisher arrives and he is like putting some distance. So she feels there's like he doesn't want to get close. So I don't know what changed in the point, and maybe that's how you're going to start Brimstone. They're gonna be maybe awkward situation again, and then he's going somewhere with Carrion disappearing.
I didn't get those vibes. So I thought that there had to be. I thought he was doing something, and he didn't know that she'd woken up, and he comes as soon as he knows. He's not there because he's researching something.
It's strange because if I will remember how he was there when she got attacked, and then he was well, look who's still alive.
Yeah, because he's trusting Taladeus to tell him when she's... And also, Taladeus needs to be there because she's going to have answers. She can't open the curtains. Like, there's stuff... Or they don't know if she can. They don't know if she's safe to. I think she can, can't she?
Yeah. I mean, she's not a full vampire.
Yeah. But anyway, Taladeus has to be there because he has... So I think Kingfisher is making him stay. Mm-hmm. And he's going off to do something that's, like, important. Books. Mm-hmm. Research, whatever. Maybe Everlane or something. Because I think he comes as soon as he knows that she's awake.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be any problems. Blissfully unaware. I'm remaining like... Yeah. Delulu.
Yes.
That's what I am about these shadow-wielding main characters.
We definitely know by the trailer that she released recently that Fisher is going to be with Carrion.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't know how long they're going to be like in this second
book. They
book.
go off on an adventure somewhere.
Yeah.
Or they're taken somewhere.
Going to the third, maybe. Maybe
go
now
back
they
to
have
Zafar and maybe they're trying to find Elroy and...
Well, Kingfisher's dad. Like officially finding Kingfisher's dad.
Yeah, or they're going to find Elroy and Hayden for...
Yeah.
Hey, deadweight. He's not going to be a deadweight. Right, anyway, we digress. So, this is where that itch gets scratched. There is such a contrast between the intimacy in this scene and the one in the tent. Mm-hmm. So while there's clearly something between them, and actually Saeris says so, she says, you know there's something between us, it still feels like they're pretending there's no strings attached, and it's very detached. Like they want each other, they can't think of anything else in that moment.
There's
And
something physical. That's it.
They go for it. But they're still pretending that that's all it is and that they can wake up in the morning and forget all about it. Not like they won't still smell. Although I realised that perhaps Carrion and Saeris still smell of each other, mostly because they can't bath. They've got no water.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is also a real big, and obviously the scene is really graphic. I would say, like on my spice scale, it's like 5.
Oh, yeah.
5 chilies. It's very, very spicy.
It's really graphic.
Yeah.
Like, you can know all the details, basically.
Yeah, every single one. But there is a real theme of consent. He keeps checking that she does want it. So I think it's just also like a callback to the fact that he said all those things. He said that if he was being evil, he would force her to do all of the stuff. But he wouldn't. That's not his character. He's not an evil person. He's not bad. And I think that just comes back to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, big part of this chapter is going to be just focus and the sex part. But there's some, let's going to say, gems that have been thrown during these scenes. Remember as well at the Imperial series when there's a little bit...
Distracts us
Yes.
with the sexy time and then throws in some things.
Yes, I was looking for double meaning, this kind of stuff, and there's a part when Fisher said like, "Oh, you actually have magic." So I wasn't sure if he was just like, because, oh my gosh, you make me feel so good. This is so awesome. So I feel like magic, like, yeah, I'm telling you like a compliment, but it's maybe something else that he's seeing, and there's maybe just one of the hints.
Maybe more than alchemy.
Yeah.
She can do something else.
Yes.
Yeah, again, we need this POV.
Yeah, because I remember that just when he's saying this, there's like a flashing lights or something going on. So I don't know if maybe Saeris is the one who's doing this and not Fisher. Maybe she thinks it's Fisher doing it, but it's her.
Oh my God, I need to immediately read that again. I was probably a bit distracted.
Like,
Which is what Kelly Hart, what Kelly Hart wanted to happen. I just missed that. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Other line in this scene as well is when she said that she can actually feel like all the power of this man, that she feels that maybe he can destroy civilizations. So it's again like another reference about that he's like a god or demigod or something like this. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if at this point it's like Kelly Hart making it so obvious for us to like say it, or what's going on here.
Or we're going to have a rug pull, and it was just an Easter egg hunt that led nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something curious as well is when they're having sex, Fisher involves everything between shadows or the dark. So
he says, I hope you're not afraid of the dark or something like that.
Yes. So I wonder if maybe this is going to be all really that he just like to be like really dark place when it's happening. So nobody can see what he's doing there.
He's embarrassed.
And something else. So when everything started, when they go to Fisher Run, Onyx was there. When everything started to just, get like really be spicy, Onyx disappeared from the run.
Yeah.
And even there's a time when everything finished, Fisher started to get dressed, and then said that she can stay there. He leaves. She goes after him. She opens the door, and Onyx is outside with Archer. And then she was like, how Onyx went there? So it was Fisher, the one who with the shadows teleported.
I think it was Onyx.
Or he was just like,
I think it was Onyx.
Avoiding.
I think Onyx can do more than you expect. Like Onyx is some kind of super fox.
Because Fisher can do that with shadows. He just go from one place to another one like really quick with the shadows. So I don't know if this little fox can do something like that.
I think Onyx has opposable thumbs and can open the door and walk out.
Yeah. Or maybe Fisher build like a little door for the fox to go, like the cat's
cat flap.
flap.
A fox flap.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that Fisher put it out because he could suspect that the spirit of his mother is in the fox and he doesn't want her seeing any of that. I mean, you wouldn't, would you?
Yeah. The only thing that's clear for me is this means something. We don't know exactly yet what, but it's been said because something happened here.
Yeah. This bit is just brilliant. When she thinks she's trapped in the room. So she's like, he wouldn't, because he leaves. He goes back to Urin to sort out his shit. And she's like, he wouldn't trap me in the room, would he? And then she runs to the front door, but to the door of the bedroom, but she can get out. And he was waiting for her.
Yeah, little Archer there waiting with the fox, waiting for them to finish.
Scratching his belly.
Yeah. And the best thing is because for Archer was more than obvious they were having sex.
I know, but he's not awkward at all, is he? He's like, I just came to see if you needed anything because these types of relations can be quite physically demanding. Do you need some orange juice?
Yeah.
And she's mortified.
Yeah. And the excuse. No, we're just moving the furniture one side, and then Fisher wasn't happy and we had to put it back in the same place, and that's it. Yeah.
And that's just like, okay.
You say so?
He obviously knows. I mean, I think you've got to be less prudish as a face. You can smell everything. You've got to just be, you've got to go with it, surely, but just not the blood thing, the biting, the neck thing.
Yeah, but I think definitely you could come with a better excuse. Moving the furniture.
I don't know. I think moving the furniture is quite a good one.
You think? Because the only thing that maybe he was hearing is just...
It's like the bed's broken, maybe. Like fixing the bed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that could be a game. What would be a better excuse to say it to somebody to pretend that you were having sex?
Putting a shelf up. Yeah,
I would say that
DIY.
maybe doing some workout because like the breathing and the kind of stuff. We're doing like a boot camp.
Yeah.
Like a cardio session.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So DIY, some kind of boot camp. Anything else?
Yeah, you can't say you're watching a movie in this world, isn't it? It wasn't us, just the TV was too loud.
Yeah.
We were watching porn. We were having
Well,
sex.
yeah, that's the only thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, and that's how we finish this chapter.
Yes. So, shall we do Adina's sketchbook?
Okay.
This is the part of the show where we channel our inner eye as Mummy Kingfisher would and put our oracle skills to the test in the hope that we get at least something right for Brimstone. So, what is your favourite theory of the day?
I will keep the Kingfisher great-great-grandfather was Malcolm's friend, or they had a relationship or something. And that's the reason the Kingfisher feels a little bit something like against him. So
Yeah.
I think there's something there.
So, I really like the one that Fisher is a demigod. Something to do with or will be a god. I think we're getting clues for that every single week.
Yeah.
But just as I normally do, I really liked the chat we had about dragons coming back in Brimstone. And like, I think it's surely a foregone conclusion because of the name. The name is a big hint. And the fact that there's dragons still on the map. But I liked the idea or the thinking that the dragons were the ones that charred the ground.
There's still some dragons somewhere.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Okay, sticking with the theme of precognition, let's look at the chapters we're going to cover next week.
So we're going to be with chapter 23, Ticking Clock, then chapter 24, Lupo Proelia, and chapter 25, Ballard.
My favourite. Ballard is my favourite chapter. I love it.
Yeah.
Questions from the Quicksilver.
Okay.
This is the part of the show where we listen hard to the whispers of the Quicksilver and dig deep into our souls for the answer. So last week, we asked if you could have any magical object from the Fey realm in the human realm, what would it be?
I will go for that bear that cleans himself.
The bed sheets. Oh my
Yes.
God, yeah, that would be amazing.
That would
Although
be
you do all the washing.
life-changing for me. Just leave it there in bed and forget about it.
I
and
basically
always
have-
always clean.
I basically have sheets that clean themselves because you do it. I help you put it back on sometimes.
Yeah.
But you do all the cleaning. You do all the No, that's not true. You do all the washing. So I basically have those anyway. My thing would be like not the Quicksilver portals. They'd be really handy, wouldn't they? Like but I thought that was a bit obvious. So I think I would have the Widow's Bane, which is the herb that the Fey warriors put underneath their tongue. You're not supposed to swallow it, but as long as you keep it under your tongue, you can't feel pain anywhere.
Yeah.
I just imagine how many people you could help with that.
Okay.
I think the Widow's Bane is really good.
You went for something good for all humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although some pain is good. Like, pain is good because, one, it makes you aware of danger. Like, if you touch a hot thing, you move your hand away. If you couldn't feel the pain, you would just burn your hand off. So some level of pain is good. But and even like, imagine maternity wards. Game changer.
No pain at all.
No pain. You wouldn't need epidurals. Risky epidurals.
Yeah, but then won't be able to push.
You can stop.
C-section,
I mean, it's
I
the
guess.
no, you would. Of course you can. An epidural takes away the pain. You just have to be told when to push. Things like anesthetic, you could save on that because you just won't have the pain. Just put a screen up.
Yeah. Only problem is that you could turn into one of the bad guys of James Bond. There was a guy there, he couldn't feel anything. No pain at all. And obviously, he can get cut, he can get shot, and he can't feel it. Actually, there's something with genetics or issue that some people can't feel pain. And that's actually bad for them. Because they get burned, they get cut, and they don't realize until they see blood or
And I'm
something.
the exact opposite. I feel pain so strongly that things that you just wouldn't even notice, I feel pain.
Yeah.
But I did read a study that suggested it was something to do with the redhead gene.
Yeah.
I can't cite the paper. Maybe I'll have to find the link in the show notes. But okay, you can Google it.
Yeah.
There is a link, apparently, or scientists had found a link between the redhead gene and feeling extra pain. But my sister's not like that. My sister had 2 babies with just paracetamol. She's definitely a warrior.
Yeah.
I had everything and still ended up having a C-section. I'm a wimp.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I said it. You're allowed to say it. This week, if you could change something of your personality with a rune, this is on the basis that we think that that's what Kingfisher is doing. What would you change? Oh, so surprising. Even though you wrote the question.
Yes.
Nice feigning of
Okay.
surprise. And that's all. That's all we've got for this week. So don't forget to follow us if you're not already on Instagram and TikTok at Faithfully Fantasy Pod. Come and join the conversation. We love to hear your theories. So if you've got one, send it our way or comment on one of our reels. We always love to read your thoughts.
And with this, we have just one more thing to say. Thank you for listening to Faithfully Fantasy.
The husband and wife podcast talking all things Quicksilver.
We'll see you next week with our deep dive of chapters 23 to 25. And of course, for more Faithfully Fantasy.
Bye.